Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing Season 29, Race 8, Div 2. And we're at back-to-back Silverstone races. This time, we're going in reverse. We had a mini short break between the two races, where I had to go and grab myself a drink, drain the main vein. Theo's done it again. He's finished the race. Good evening, Theo. Hello, Terry Reds lover. Cheering on Terry's as always. I think it's Jax in disguise. Oh, you Jax Daniels in disguise. We do have the 20 drivers with us. Danny Dine has just joined. And then we've got the two Ferrari boys joining just after. Well, you just went too fast over the line. That's how you got your 10-second penalty. It's the thing with drivers, they always push the boundaries. Pushed it a little too hard. So slightly overcast qualifying. Had a wet one for the Div 1 race. It looks like it could be. Yeah, the spin didn't help anyway. Yeah, watch the race back. I'm sure you'll enjoy moments of it. And I'm sure we'll see some fantastic action in the Div 2. It might be one where you've got to get out and set your lap early. Maybe you might see rain at the end with. It's slightly overcast. As Benedict is the first one going round. Has a Haas right in his gearbox. But Benedict will be the first one to set quali. Got pole last week. Can he get another one again? This time going the other way around. As he flings his car around. Turns 1 and 2 of Club. Slow right-hander. Turn 3 of Vale. Short climb uphill. Around the fast left-hander of Stowe, where you just let off slightly, no brake. You don't want to go too wide or you're going to end up in the gravel. No run-off area like you do on the other way round. Down the hanger straight, DRS open, flying into Chapel. We'll see 1 or 2 overtakes, I'm sure, round Beckett's and Maggots. Very, very similar to its normal counterpart. It's like the same but different. Throw your car into Cops. Can go flat out, but again, no run-off area, no area for mistakes. DRS open down to Woodcote and Luffield, where it's been the hot spot for overtakes whenever we've done this track before. Follow the inside round Luffield, and then open up the traction coming out of Brooklands. Little difference is no DRS down this straight. Throw your car into Aintree, and then it's a sharp brake, heavy braking into Loop, the slowest part of the circuit. An immediate change of direction to come around Village of turn 16. Then it's open up throttle, full power, foot to the floor, round Abbey for the final corner. Keep it on the circuit, and it's a 1:26.4 for Benedict for the first flying lap. Catamise goes P2, did a great showing in the Div 1 race previously, but has got 8 tenths behind Benedict. Kessler goes P3, 29.1. I'm sure he's got more fuel, more power in the bank. Wesker learned a lot from the Div 1 race. He'll be looking to get himself either a race win or a podium at least. And a moment gets himself on the front row, the 26.7. So he goes 3 tenths behind. Guna reserving in the Red Bull, goes ahead of his teammate. Reserving for Charlie Goat, who is the first one to suffer from the penalty point system and is disqualified from this race. He's subscribed to my OnlyBans and is replaced by Guna, who I think got P13 last week at normal Silverstone, so I'll be happy with that lap. Josh P5 leading the way in the Challenger Championship at 27.5. And it's in a great battle with Chessbowl, who's closed the gap massive. Josh had a massive gap, and it's been closed. Briddy in the Alpine, Alpine, 27.3. As we see Harry Hale get a 29.2. As Geezer in the McLaren P3. Got himself a podium last week. I'll be looking to get another one. Some good pace in the Div 1 race. jump down. Ricciardo, Milos. Oh, going deep. That's Stowe. Hasn't invalidated. Filling in for Project Ty this week. Got his league debut. And he'll be looking to impress. Chessball on his outlap. Danny's jumped in. Oh no, he's in the Ferrari. Danny! Well, okay. Hopefully we'll see Benja and Magel. I don't think we did tell Danny he can't go in the Ferrari. It is what it is. John set at 130 flat. I'll be looking to get a bit more time. Rels in the Aston Martin. Aston Martin's P5 and P11 for now. Benji P7. Terry's Reds front row. 26.7. Likes himself a bit of Silverstone, and 6 thousandths between him and Wesker. The gap's smaller than a bee's dick. Let's jump on Chessball then. The Challenger champion, the Challenger. Let's say a tongue twister. A Challenger Championship Challenger. As he heads down the Wellington. He's been fighting up the front the last 2 or 3 races in some fine form. Oh, and as the commentator's curse, just puts his throttle down too hard coming out of village, and his lap's compromised. And he's going to have to go in the pits, but I'm glad we saw it. Who's on a hot lap? Briddy on another one. As Briddy goes up to P6. Should be quite chuffed with that as Josh P9 behind his teammate. Let's jump on with Danny Dine then. While he's on a lap, I'll just double check if any of the Ferrari boys. Benja is not. Neither is Magel. Their time is running out. Nice and tight round Luffield. Good change of direction. No whip for Danny Dine. Made his league return last week. Good to see him back on track. Reserving for us, of course. And he's currently filling in with one of the Ferrari boys. Goes P16, 31.4. A bit more time in the bank for him, I think. He's messed up his lap. He's either going to have to go again or drive in the pits. Just slightly down on his Heim Kessler as he just pops out of cops. Like he's got the cops chasing him. He's the lead Red Bull driver this week. As I think we've got Magels in. Oh, I've gone too far. me just see if Magel's there as well. I can hear him. Why do you cry, Magel? Trying to get them both in. Well, Magel's in. Still got 6.5 minutes left, so there's plenty of time for Benja to jump in. Chest bowl's going again. Validation for the Haas. As that was John. P16. Keys up to the front row. Hopefully we can get Benja in. So Keys ahead of Terry's on the front row. Still half a second behind Benedict to extend his time to 26.1. Benji is invalidated. As Ricky Armilos is up to P13. So, just for a bit of housekeeping, Benja's just joined. Benja is actually racing for Ferrari. Danny Dine will be racing for Visa RB. They're just in different cars. Terry's has got himself back on the front row. 2 tenths ahead of Keyser. Terry's needs this race. He's had a really tough few races. Had a storming start to the season. As Josh is a tenth up on his time, round the final corner. Almost swung his car into the wall. 27.2, just a tenth behind his teammate, so not much between the Mercedes boys. Let's say hello to Lennon. He's invalidated. He'll be kicking himself. He's always up there and about. It's just always his own, most of the time his own errors. As Benja is in. And we've got 20 for the grid for the race. You love to see it. Let's jump on back with Harry then. He's down over a second. He's not going to improve as yet. Keep on chest bowl. Hasn't yet set a time, and you'd like to think this is probably his last chance. He's not going to have enough time to get back in and back out again. It's a one-lap wonder from the Sauber driver. Completely out of sync for a quali. At least he's kept doing the white lines this time. Is it enough to get him up to the spearhead of the all-grid order? It's not. P13, disappointing from him. Josh is in the pits after invalidating. Has he got enough time to get in and out? Danny Dine almost 2.5 tenths up. I'm sure there's more time in the rest of the lap after he's just found his rhythm. Callum's cheering on Terry's. He's doing well so far. He needs to hold his nerve in the race. Down again round Luffield. Coming out Brooklands, end of sector 2. And he's 8.5 tenths up now. That's more like it. I'm sure there's some extra time in the final few corners. Loop and Village are probably the trickiest ones and the ones where you're going to lose most time. Foot to the floor, flat out for the rest of the lap. Dandelion across the line. He's going to improve his time. Can he improve position? He can't, but he's improved massively. 1.2 seconds, and I think that's Danny Dine done. Benjamin Magel. That's them done. Josh is retired, so he doesn't think he can improve. Wesker's going to be the first one. He's a 10th down. He's not going to improve from his current P4. I don't think he's got any more time in the bank either. And found a little bit more time, but it's not enough to get him onto the front row. Next up is Katamis, his final flying lap. As mentioned before, he's in some really fine form. Some massive pace has been found. Let's just hope he doesn't fall asleep on us. Apparently he's been awake 30 hours. He is a machine though. Row 2, ahead of Wesker, P4. As Ricciardo Milos on his final up to P11. It's going to be a lot of drivers just starting their final lap, starting their final flying lap now. Hope they all get across the line before the timer runs out. He's a 26.6. What can Sygate do? He's in the pits. He's not going to improve. So highest for him will be P12. Lennon starts his final lap. Danny Dine's in the pits, so yeah, he's not going to improve. Right, we're going to see last people. It's Benedict then. He's found an extra couple of tenths. He crosses the line, extends his time to 25.7. Surely, if someone pulls that out of the bag, they deserve a prize. Wesker's in the pit, so he's going to start high as P5. Rels. Round Village. Currently P8. I think he's definitely going to improve, but how much? 27.145, he's just a little bit. He definitely improved, but not that much. Next up, Brady. Brady up to P6 ahead of Lennon. It's a very fast time. What can Benji do? Is he fight for that pole? P3, second row for now for Benji. Terry's will start P2. Cat is not going to improve. Cat is done on quali. Ricciardo's done on quali 2. Keys will start P4. All eyes on the guys at the bottom. As Magel start P18. What can Mr. Lennon do? P6, row 3 behind Katamis, where no fucker wants to be. Benji on his only run. Join late, P14. So another pole for Benedict then. And that's a massive time. Impressive. As Callum said, almost Div 1 pace that. Daft Chip says Cat is the cleanest race in the league. And to be fair, Daft Chip, he's had a really, really good season. He's been, I think when he's enjoying his racing, he tends not to make wrong decisions, let's say. He's been really, really good this season. Yeah, it always happens. Your personal best. It's not too quick because the standings don't lie. Benedict pole, 25-7. Terry Reds joins him on the front row. Benji and Keys are row 2. Katamise and Lennon, row 3. Wesker, 7th. Briddy, 8th. Rels, 9th. And Josh round off the top 10. And that is a pole for Rels. Rels gets the first pole. I'm going to have to scroll down so I can see times. There we go. I ran out of time. Josh says he needs a chessboard disaster class. No, you need a Josh masterclass because you don't want to lose from someone. You don't want to win from someone else's mishaps. It's a false win. Yeah, the silence is. I'm trying to be diplomatic and also fair because he's had a really good season, Daft Chip. Benedict has a really good qualifying. But as I mentioned, he doesn't always follow it through on the race. Can he do it this time? Let me just have a quick look. So he only has the one podium, the one win this season, Benedict. And that was back in Bahrain. So although Josh is a Spurs fan and he'll take any win. Yeah, shut up. Europa League final. Blur. So yeah, he needs to be more consistent in the race because he's nowhere near challenging for the title. Benji got the race win last week. No, he didn't. I'm lying. Daft Chip reckons 4th place will go to Josh. Terry Red's lover is cheering on Terry's. Surprise, surprise. Cilla Black's out. Surprise, surprise. So last week's race was to Katamise. He won last week. My apologies, Katamise. At normal Silverstone. With Wesker and Keys are both on the podium. My order, I'm going to go Benedict, Terry's. And Katamise, he's got a podium in every race apart from race 1. Terry's has 2 lovers tonight. He's got a fan club. He's got some cheerleaders in their skimpy skirts, flashing their flaps. Yeah, I'm going to try and back Terry's for a podium. He hasn't had one since race 3 in Spain. And just very inconsistent races. But it's all going to be down to tyre preservation. We saw many drivers. Daft Chick reckons Benedict, Cat and Lennon. Lennon again had a good start to the season. Got a race win in Vegas. Now I'm going to go Benedict, Terry's and Cat for my podiums. As drivers just getting themselves onto the grid now. Most drivers in the Div 1 race went for a 2-stop. 1-stop is possible if there's tyre preservation. But I think we're going to see drivers try to do the 1-stop and end up with punctures, like Callum just said. He says you have to make sweet love to your tyres to make them last. So Ricciardo and Milos and John both starting on the hards. The only one doing the alternate strategy. Everyone else is going on the mediums. So interesting. We found this last week. Everyone did very much a similar strategy. But who will look after their tyres? It's good. There's been 1 or 2 grumbles about the reverse tracks, but we found that with this track last season, it was an absolute delight. Delivered a storm of a race. Div 1 race previous to this was a great race, and I'm sure we'll get another one. No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're that clever to do that. Yeah, 200 IQ. No, I don't think they're that clever to do that. This track's been reversed on this game, but it's been changed multiple times over the years. 1973 had a significant event in Silverstone history where Jody Schleckler lost control of his car at Luffield and hit the wall coming out of the Woodcote. Caused a mass pile-up, which caused many changes to happen in late 80s, 90s. He had to tighten corners like Stowe and Luffield, adjust some corners. And to make it a lot more safer, it's a 5.8 kilometre anti-clockwise 13, 18 corners, 10 to the left and 8 to the right, 2 DRS zones with a 88% chance of a safety car, which we didn't see in Div 1. Will we see one in Div 2? Safety car, the pit stop is about 20 seconds. Yeah, Hamilton frontally binned Verstappen apparently. Will we see that with any of the drivers? Benedict and Terry's on the front row. Terry's has disqualified himself in the pit, but in the in his grid slot, which are going to hamper his start. Benji on P3, Keys at P4 are going to look to try and capitalise on Terry's slow start as we wait for Chesbold to get himself in the... Why is this order... I didn't... No, that was out of order. The lights are going anyway. It's 3, 4, 5. We're in Britain, man! And it's lights out and away we go! And it looks like a really good start from Terry's, actually. Side by side, he's got the inside of... But he just slammed on the brakes and trying to avoid a collision. And that could have cost him a couple of positions. As Katamis has gained ahead of Kiza. Benji's ahead of Terry's. And there's a big drop there from Rels in the Aston. Ricciardo Milos has had a slow start as well. 1 or 2 drivers just losing track position. Kessler as well down near the rear. It could have been worse. Look at that. All 20 runners are still going though, thankfully. As we all start navigating through Beckett's and Maggots. Rocket start from Katamis, as Daft Chip says. And just emphasising the 5 form he's on. Oh. Lennon goes deep on Cops and almost loses traction. You can see it's very slippy on the grass. As we see a potential overtaking the outside for Keyser on Lennon. Loses a bit of traction on the curb. As Gunnar overtaking Magel. Ricciardo going out past Rels. And Keyser gets himself up to P5 ahead of Lennon. Brave move from Keyser. Getting some extra data from his previous race. Oh, someone smashed the board and gone wide. It's the McLaren of Harry Hale. Missed his braking point. Magel and Gunnar battling for position again. As we go in almost 3 with Sygate plotting his overtake on Magel. Benjin out to P9. Great start. As he's side by side with the Frenchman of Briddy. Leaving each other plenty of room. They're going to be side by side going round the left-hander of Stowe. But Brady has to give away the position. Sygate has made the move on Magel. 14th here for Sygate. As Brady retakes the position on Benja with the aid of DRS. Benja goes offline, which he's going to put under threat from Chespo, who's got his way all the way up to P11. Great start from the Challenger. Championship Challenger. Should get that on a badge. Gunnar and Harry Hale exchange positions as Ricciardo... Oh, Magel's gone offline, has lost plenty of positions. We've got a yellow flag. I think John's gone wide at Cops. Got some gravel in his wheels. And it's the overtaking hotspot of Luffield. As Ricciardo tries to turn in on a car, which you can't do because there's a car there. And has to slot behind Danny Dine. DRS is now active after the first lap chest bowl. Making good strides. Taking a look at Gunnar. Oh, that could have been a clever overtake. Left plenty of room at Gunnar, but Gunnar has the outside and the racing line. So Chesbold just has to wait. Oh, he goes wide. Follows Gunnar's line. And John's got an Italian hand gesture for speed in the pit lane. Come on, my guy. You do this sort of every week. Just brake a little sooner. As we jump back up, as Terry's has settled himself and got himself back up to P2. Benedict has broken away from the chasing pack. Got himself some breathing space as the cars behind battle between themselves. And my dog's got himself caught up in the laptop wire. You moron. That could have been a disaster. So Terry's leading this train. As Katamise on the inside of Benji, using that DRS wisely. He's not a wise fox. He's a clever cat. As his teammate is overtaken by Rouse. After that slow start, incident-driven start. Now up to P13, so good driving. And inside Ricciardo of Aintree. They're going to turn in. Left plenty of room by Danny Dime. Brilliant driving from both. Great awareness. And great overtake from Milos on the alternate strategy as well. Now the interesting thing in this race will be who's going to be going for 1 and who's going 2. Bagel in the pits. Terry's has caught up to the race leader. Has threw off Benji and Katamise. Benji actually the train and a lead driver for that P3. Either Benedict's made a mistake or Terry's is flying. He's quicker than a wig in a hurricane. Chessball has made that move, finally got past Benja, who's stuck behind him for a couple of laps. Just bode his time. And again, clever driving from Chessball. Oh, Lennon. He's his own enemy. As we see Keys in that. Oh! And Keys has gone into the gravel. Was that his own doing? Or is it a potential collision with Katamise? Was he trying to do an overtake? I should have been on that. Slap me silly. Maybe. We'll see. We can't have as many as last week. Last week was absolutely ridiculous. But I think it was mainly because we had safety car restarts and all that shite. So, all seems well at the moment. Touch wood. As we'll keep an eye on Wesker. Yeah, you cursed him. It's your fault. Kessler was hoping in chat there was no overtaking in Beckett's and Maggots. As we jump down to the Red Bull drivers, got past Harry Hale at Vale. I'm a pony, I don't know it. So we'll just slightly spread out a bit. Terry's just got a little bit of breathing space. He's stuck behind Benedict. Will not help his tyre wear at all. Katamise. Good line through Cops. DRS is open. Yellow flag. Look like Briddy. Here's Briddy. Just slightly offline coming out of Cops. I think he's gone into the gravel. It's cost him a couple of places. Just gets back on track ahead of his teammate now. Has a good qualifying. It's not the best of races for the Frenchman. Needs to put his head down. So we jump back on. Josh with a fantastic race net. Could get at a P4 like you said, Daft Chip. Running with the battle here is Cat. Oh, we're in the pit stops. Terry's is in. He's doing a 2-stop. Benji's in for a 2-stop. Keys is in for a 2-stop. So that's answered a question about their strategy. Katamise is now promoted up to P2 and is the leader of this train. Well, he did show that he could do that 1-stop, but it depends on the speed of the drivers around him. Well, I don't know. They're all doing well so far. There is a bit of runoff area, so the likelihood of someone hitting the wall, unless you're Brutus. Josh here, this train for P2. Penalties stacking up. That'll cost a few positions at the end. Benji running P7. Terry's on for P1, you reckon? It depends if Benedict's going to try and do your strategy of the one stop. Yeah. Great minds. Rails up to P8 after a difficult start, as mentioned. So let's jump back on as Lennon is in the pit then. He's doing a two-stopper, as is Josh. Josh said in the chat, oh, Benji, Italian hand gesture. Sauber's running well, and Wesker did say he's going to try and do the one stop. And Briddy is in the pits. He's retired in the pits. He's retired in the pits. My heart can stop pumping so fast. Lennon, Josh and Benja all, Benja in and got himself that penalty. You ding bat. Wesker's closed that gap to Katamies. Frenchman's called it a day. Yeah, I know. It's not the first time this season that's happened to him. So Benedict still going. Got 3.5 seconds ahead of Katamies. And speaking of Briddy, Benedict's quick like the French dropping their rifles. Bants. So they've come out. P14, Lennon. Got a good couple of seconds. Behind Benji, who pitted that lap earlier. And the undercut is very, very powerful here. Problem with Terry is he does not want to get stuck in traffic. And he's closing the gap. As Ricciardo Milos gets that 10-second penalty as well as he pits with Guna. An early pit stop for the hard runner. Maybe doing our 2 hards and a medium. As Harry Hale pits as well, so it's one less person for Terry to try and get past Giza. Pushing hard. Harder than a wedding night, Dick. Okay, maybe. Who was it, Harry? Wing looks fine, but if he did, he'll have to. If he doesn't serve it, then he'll have to send it in. Wesker's struggling to close that gap. It looked like he was going to push hard and get under that 1 second, but bum slap. Promises. Yeah, it looked like Wesker was closing on Katamies, but just being in a dirty air. Looks like it's slightly compromising Wesker's charge. They're all still going round. So this front 8 then, all yet still to pit. As I say, Sygate into the pits then. Doesn't get his 10-second, good lads. There's one driver as well that I don't want those penalties going to, is Sygate. As Terry's goes through. He's stuck behind Danny Dine. He has a bit of DRS coming up now though, which she'll be thrilled with. Into the slipstream of the Ferrari. Roundstow, there should be a rudimentary overtake for the Williams. Danny Dine doesn't fight it on different strategies. And up to P6 for the Williams. Potential race win for him. On the cards. Kessler's in the pits. And come out ahead of Magel. And it's got a good 8 seconds. Oh, yellow flag, it's an Aston Martin. It's Rels. He's got a puncture. Puncture for Rels. So that might be a sign for all those front drivers to get in the pits. Rels has got a puncture on the mediums. Hopefully a safety car doesn't come out. He's losing positions. Just out of the way of the drivers going past, but he's got a good few corners to get to the pits. Chespol's in. He's not. No safety car. Chespol's not going to risk it. Yeah, it shouldn't cause a safety car unless he wipes out another driver, of course. But the other front five carrying on. Well, Terry's in P4, the net leader. As what's happening here with... Oh, he's come through the pits, that's why. Always gets me going when the pit stops as well. So Chespol should come out just ahead. Exactly what he needed to do. There's Benji getting past Danny Dine at Chapel on different strategies. Danny Dine on old medium tyres, and surely his tyre wear is going to be making these corners so difficult. Lennon will have better traction coming through Copse, so we'll have DRS as well. This should be an easy overtake for the Aston Martin. On the inside of Luffield again, Danny doesn't, Woodcote and Luffield, Danny Dine doesn't fight it too hard. Geezer on the outside, we've seen him do this before. Look at that from Geezer. And again, Danny doesn't fight it. Oh, it's a Haas. It's Sygate. Got himself on the gravel, coming round Copse. Doesn't look like he's damaged himself too much. As will any of these front runners get in the pits now. No, these front three have carried on. That's brave. Oh, can they hold it till the pit stop? These guys are brave. All they're doing, it's ideal, but especially those following a dirty air like Wesker here. Katames has closed the gap to Benedict to 1.6 seconds, so Benedict is definitely nursing his tyres. And Danny Dine, the other one, on the one stop currently, but you can see he's getting, he's dropping, and again, he's dropping like horse undies. Josh up to P8, leading the way in the Challenger Championship order. These two closing the gap on Benedict. Benedict trying to nurse his tyres to the pit stop. And they're all within DRS now. It's definitely the time to pit stop for Benedict. Otherwise he's going to be under threat. He does. Katames and Wesker all go in then. And thankfully all slowed down. Where's Terry's? He's coming round and he's going to take the lead of the race. And through goes Terry's! And starts lap 12. He should have a good gap between him and the cars behind. But can he punch some laps in? Because he'll have to pit again. And he'll have a bit of gap as well. Benedict's only just coming out of the pit stop, so they're going to be caught in some traffic as well. Danny Dine is in as well, so it looks like Danny Dine is trying the one stop, but they're going to come out in P9 and behind. We've got a race, ladies and gentlemen, on our hands. Terry's has got a good 6.5 seconds in clean air. Harry Hale getting taken by Kessler again. Carbon copy of a couple of laps ago. Kessler on the medium tyres. Kessler and Ricciardo both out of sync to everyone else on tyre usage. Will make him slightly faster for about 6 laps, 7 laps. As Wesker dispatching Ricciardo at Woodcote. Rail's getting the provisional fastest lap. Pit for John, serving that time penalty. Ricciardo Milos having a good debut so far. No dramas. Had that early little scuffle. It's always going to happen when the corners are tight at a start of a race. but has managed to settle himself. And doing well in P12. Let's keep an eye on Benedict and see how he's going to navigate Gunnar. But it's not just Gunnar. There is Chespo and Benja ahead. Oh, lots of traction for the Red Bull driver, and that should be an easy overtake for Benedict. Just before he gets to Stowe. Should have DRS as well. He doesn't actually. Overtook before the line as Chespo at the start of Chapel. Makes the move on Benja. On slightly newer tyres. And Benedict closing that gap. We should get there just before Cop's DRS. He's not. Or as we see, Benja just dipping his back wheel into the grass. And Benedict's going to be losing some time. It's time that he cannot afford to lose. The same as the likes of Katamies and Wesker. All attempting that one stop, and the more they're chasing cars, the more they're getting some tyre wear in the dirty air. And this, of course, is all for position. Terry's 7.5 seconds now. Williams driver. The only way that he can hamper this race is from his own errors. Benji running well in P2 as well, on the same strategy as Terry's. But he's got Lennon for company. Keys doing well as well. Very strong McLaren. So we jump down and see Saget go through on Ricciardo, who's in the pits for his final pit stop. Should be jumping onto another set of hards if he's gone for that strategy. Saget doing well as Katamies does make the move. Chapel. Great overtake from the Haas. Big Raki cheering on his team, Williams. Benedict does have to clear this traffic, and that's going to hamper him. And it's going to not help his tyre wear, as I said. Terry's has got 12, 13 and a half, 14 and a half. Terry's got about 14 and a half seconds gap on Benedict. So the earlier he pits, get some fresher tyres, he can hunt down the one stoppers. Benedict behind is not his teammate. Don't be fooled. Benja is Ferrari. It's just Danny Dine got in the wrong car, so he doesn't have to let him past. As Lennon's pitting. First of the two stoppers. Yellow flag. I think it's John. I was letting a car past. So yeah, Benedict doesn't have to be let past by his teammate. You know I love team play. As Wesker went through on Gunnar. We could overtake down the Hamilton straight for the Kick Sauber. Again, another one that has to work his way through. He's 2 seconds behind Katamies now, where he was in his DRS before the pits. Benja with data DRS now manages to make that overtake. And it proved to be a valuable one. Terry's, that open air is doing him well. Big fan club for Terry's. Benja looking to retake the position here on Benedict. Just doesn't have the exit that he needed. As they now come up behind Chespo. Chespo and Josh with each other on track. Tasty championship. I think there's only a couple of, let me just double check. There's 3 points in the standing so far in the Challenging Championship, with Josh just slightly ahead. Every race, every point is valuable. At the moment, Josh is slightly ahead, but he does have a penalty. As, oh no, what's the yellow flag? I can't see. It's coming, it's going. It's Mercedes. Was it Josh hitting the pits? But the two stoppers are in. Terry's, Wesker's in. Terry's in. Keys, Benji's in. So the one stoppers have gone through. Benedict is behind, who's Chespo, who's taken the lead of the race. Chespo potentially trying to do the one stop a couple of laps earlier than Benedict. Benedict will have DRS coming down the national pit straight. Terry's is coming out 7.5 seconds behind Gunnar, who'll be doing a 2-stop. That's perfect pit stop for Terry, and come out ahead of Seigate. So clean errors again for the Williams driver. His competitor Lennon, who pit early, is undercut Benji and Kiza. Benedict not making to make the overtake yet, as Chespo trying to break the slipstream. Still stays ahead. This is not helping Benedict. And all the while brings Katamise closer, grabbing in the clutches. Yeah, Callum, it is spicy. Can Benedict, seen him do an overtake down to club. Not this lap. Benja will have to pit soon. You can see Terry's is flying 5.2 seconds. Chasing Gunnar, who's quivering in his boots. He's shaking more than a He's shaking more than a P Diddy's Make-A-Wish. Benedict just not able to make the overtake. Chespo planting his car in the middle of the track as Kessler now decides to pit. Gooning in his boots, exactly. Good driving from the reserve. Again, filling in for Charlie. The first to have a race ban for too many penalty points. Hope he learns his lesson. He's missing out on a cracking race. As we go down, I see Harry Hale make a move on Magel. Lennon getting past Seigate. Down to Woodcote and Luffield. Great overtake from the Aston Martin. Up to P8. And has lost some time on Terry's. Terry's now under 3 seconds behind Gunnar. Gunnar will have to pit very, very soon, as Benja's now pitting after 10 laps on the hards. But look at this driving from Chespo. This is absolutely wonderful, as Gunnar does now pit. Terry's has got some more free air and a fastest lap. He's a storm, Terry's. The wind's blowing. As now Benedict's able to make the move. He's been stuck behind him for ages as Kiza as well, pushing his limits. Katamise. It's huge from Terry's. He's 7 seconds behind Wesker, who's the first driver for him to catch on the one stop. There's only 4 laps difference though. Is that 4 laps going to make a difference? Katamise will need to try and dispatch Chespo as quick as possible. But as long as Chespo stays with Benedict. Benji. What an overtake from Benji on the outside of Cops. That was incredible. As I think the yellow flag is John just getting out of the way and getting lapped from the front runners. Yeah, potentially he's not going to do another 8 laps. I think he's going to try to go to the end, but if he's stuck in the dirty air behind Benedict, he's definitely going to get a puncture, which is not what he needs. Crazy. Gunnar adds on those fresh tyres, getting past Danny Dye. Terry Red's fastest lap again. Flying. Just under 6 seconds now behind Wesker. And he's gaining a couple of tenths every corner. Oh, is that Seigate? It's not Seigate, who gets dispatched by Kiza at the same point. I think the yellow flag will keep up with John. Keeps making my heart skip a beat. Just call me Ollie Murs. Chespo back in that DRS range, coming out of Copse. Benedict has that open air again. It's going to be tight to the end for a lot of these drivers. And I think we're going to see one or two punches, like Callum says. Good overtake from Josh up to P11. Getting past Danny Dine. That's a penalty for Katames, which is going to make his chances for back-to-back race wins very, very difficult. And that's the trouble when you're stuck in the dirty air, flinging your car around these fast corners. Keeping it in with the white lines. Benja now getting past Danny Dine. Up to P12. On those fresh mediums. And that's a pits, retirements in the pits for John. Not had the best of races today, and has called it a day. Chespo's out, slightly out of that DRS, as he's going through Beckett's and Maggots. And the time's becoming quite difficult. He's still got to do another 7 laps, including this one. And Katames all over his gearbox, stuck to him like jizz on a sock. Can Katames make a move? It looks like Chespo has got some brilliant ERS management. Let's just stay ahead for now, which gives Benedict the release he needs. Katames back end all over the place in the slipstream. Chespo looking on the outside of Aintree. Will he try and do a switch back at loop? He does. Look at that wheel to driving inside Chespo. Another switchback potentially for Katames. Oh, lost of traction from Chespo. That should be an easy overtake from Katames. Oh, did Chespo just slightly turn in on Katames, who has to slot behind Chespo again. Looked a little bit naughty, and look who's come to play. Another Sauber. John's joined the chat. Hello, John. Unfortunate race, mate, but it's cheering on Terry's. He's now 3.5 seconds behind Wesker. Let's how you can have a look. Can't see from there. He's gaining. This is going to be brave from Katames. What an overtake from the Haas driver. Threw his car in. As Chespo lets Wesker go through. Lovely bit of team play there. Chespo held up Katames as much as he could and brought Wesker in play. And Chespo just needs to get pulled along now from these two ahead of him. And right behind them, here goes Terry's. Yeah, John says he couldn't get to grips with the track and had early issues. And once he got lapped, it's hard to get back in the race. Just remember, you still get points for finishing, and what I always try and say is just if you're not in a race or anything, is just try and use it as practice. Never know when the track comes round again. As Maygo is now getting lapped by the front runners. Wesker all over the back of Katames. Wesker looking to try and get past Katames. Katames defending well. And Wesker has to wait. Knows that DRS is coming. Problem with Katames, he has great ERS management. As Wesker has got a lot more speed than Katames, like you can see. Johnson's got frustrated with the track. It happens, mate, don't worry. And look at that, Katames, better straight line speed. Can lead them through Beckett's and Maggots. Terry's now 1.5 seconds behind. Terry's definitely in for a chance for a podium. It's how these guys can look after the tyres to the end. As Wesker, trying to go side by side through Copse. And both Saubers have gone through. Katames probably got minimal wing damage if he did have some. He's still got both end plates. Did Wesker leave Katames enough room? Did he have a right to be side by side through there? Was the side sufficient enough to warrant both having space? I'm sure we'll find out as Chesball hits the back of his teammate. Oh my God! I bet Wesker's absolutely fuming. I'm fuming as Chesball knocks off his teammate. Collides with his teammate a loop. Daft Chip says karma. I don't know who he means for. Spencer goes through on Josh, which promotes Katames up to P2 and Terry's into a podium position. He's still got Chesball for company, but Chesball's got to be careful with his tyres. He's 13 lap old and we still got 4 laps including this one. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Terry's having a great race. 4 lap fresher tyres on that front too. Benedict's got 7 seconds on Katames. As Gunnar makes a move on Cygate ahead of Stowe and has DRS, so that's a perfect rotate from Gunnar up to P9. Harry Hell getting himself another penalty as we see Rels behind Ricciardo, both on fresh softs, potentially both trying to do a fastest lap. Benedict can get to the end on these tyres. And getting past Cygate as well. Cygate just struggling on those old hards. He's one at risk for a puncture, and you can see he's struggling with his tyre wear. He's not going to do another 4. Josh trying to force his way through. Just Cygate's so slow with loss of traction. And this should be an easy overtake for the Mercedes driver on the inside of Aintree. Leaving each other plenty of room. Lock up there from Josh. Cygate. Jax wants to see some punctures. Makes it extra spicy. If I was Chesball, I'd slow down and just let your teammate past. So a position here. After clatter him off. Either that or he'll try and do it, or we'll let him pass at the line. Terry's needs a better exit through Cops. Looking to do, no, he's got a better exit out of Cops. Katames defending the inside of Woodcote. Oh, what's Katames doing there? Decide your line, Katames. Jack says it's civil racing. That was a bit of a naughty defending there from Katames. As Terry's following him down the Wellington Straight. Chesball finally letting his teammate past. As he gets dropped from that P2 battle. Benedict's on the penultimate lap. He can just nurse his tyres to the end. Well, it's not Cat being Cat, it's Cat trying to defend hard. He's had a good season, which I'm sure we can all say. But that, I'm sure if Terry's wants to send it in, it did look a bit naughty from my point of view, but it always looks different in the cars. Oh! What happened to Terry's? What happened to Terry's? And Wesker's gone through. Was that a Terry's issue, or was that with Katames again? That'll have to be a post-race look, really. I couldn't see clear from my point of view. Cygate now pitting. If he stays within the 3 seconds, he'll jump onto the podium. Jack saying, well, he needs to overtake Wesker, yeah, which is still possible. Cygate going in the pits onto the softs, going for a fastest lap. Yeah, I was going to say Benedict, he's got 9.5 seconds ahead. In the clean air, he can just nurse his tyres to the end. And he'll be happy like Jeffrey Dahmer with Ben and Jerry's in the freezer. In the end, stayed out of incident. It'd be interesting to know his tyre wear is at the end of the race as he starts the final lap. These front three need to nurse the tyres. Terry's on that fresher. Doesn't. Can he get past Wesker? He's got a couple of opportunities to do so. Wesker's going to be struggling. We'll have DRS coming out of Stowe. No, it's down to 20th, mate. Everyone that finishes gets some points. And then in your top 10 championship as well, everyone in the 10 get points too. Wesker's staying ahead of Terry's as they come to Woodcote. Terry's... Oh, Benji's gone off. What happened to Benji? He took an abnormal line. As Benedict comes round. Yeah, I always get bewildered when drivers do retire, especially those like Clennon did one that did it a couple of laps before the finish. As Benedict has managed to nurse his tyres on the one stop and crosses the line and will take his first race win of the season. Congratulations to Benedict. Katamise has got Terry's. And Wesker behind. It's going to be a race to... Oh, I thought Terry's was going to go for it. He pulled out of it. Wesker will take P2. Terry's will take P3. Wesker gets dropped down to... Katamise gets down to P4. Chesbold managed to nurse his tyres 17 laps on hards. Down to P5. He has got a puncher at the end though by the looks of it. Giza P6. Lennon P7. Who as well looks like he's got a puncher as well. Guna P8. Who gets jumped by Benja P8. Josh P10 ahead of his teammate. P11, Danny Dime P12. Kessler is coming home in P13. Yeah, I think that incident with Chesbold, like it's ended with Wesker. He wouldn't have finished any higher than that anyway, so I think in the end no damage done, thankfully, but it was... I think Chesbold just missed his braking point, to be honest, on his old tyres, which is just not great. Harry Hale, P14. Ricardo Milos crossing the line, P15. Rails will come home, P16. Lennon lost 2 positions because he got a puncher. Sygate crosses the line, P17. You'll have to speak to some of the likes of Benedict or Callum Lennon because I've got no clue. But maybe it is things like, as Daft Chip says, no ABS. Maybe it is the way you drive, but also the assists that you may have on and off. Joey says. So race winner, fastest lap goes to Mells. Congratulations to him. Driver of the day is given to Chesbold. Obviously, he gets decided by the drivers. I wouldn't give it to him after clattering his teammate and he's getting more overtake. Saving lift and no battery, says Callum. Benedict takes the race win. Congratulations to him. Wesker P2. Terry's P3. Back on the podium. Katamise P4. His podium streak is out the window. Chesbold P5 and the P1 in the Challenger. P6 for Giza. Lennon P7. Benja 8. Guna 9th. And P10 for Josh. Benji P11. 12th for Danny Dine. Kessler 13th. Harry Hale 14th. 15th for Ricciardo Milos on his debut. Rels 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th for John and Briddy. Both of them DNFing. That was back-to-back. Silverstone done. And tyre wear is always a talking point. And then it will be a talking point for next week as we head to Austria. And the slight difference from a normal Austria race next week is we put it down as a night race, but you can't officially put a night race down. But it's a sunset race, so a slightly different start time to the real. So it means that tyre wear will be slightly different. And how will drivers be able to navigate that? We will see. This is Lights Out League Racing. My name's Alex. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next week. Peace out.